All right. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. So today I will discuss about the rule of debit and credit, no? The conditions of debit and credit. All right. The reason why I will discuss this thoroughly because it is the first, no, the first step in terms of the accounting cycle wherein you will analyze the transactions, especially in terms of the conditions of debit and credit. Kasi pag hindi, siguradong sigurado, maling-mali na ang inyong FS. Especially in terms of the preparations of your statement of comprehensive income or your income statement or statement of profit or loss, your statement of financial position or your balance sheet, your cash flow statement, and a statement of equity or any changes in equity. All right. So hopefully with this video, no, you can be able to familiarize na, no, mas madali sa inyo on how to analyze, especially ito yung pinakauna, no? This is the first thing that you will be able to analyze, particularly in terms of your debit and credit. All right. Can I share my screen? All right. So I have with me here, no, some of the problems. All right. So problem 5-6. All right. It is more on how you will analyze, okay? How you will analyze this statement, particularly in terms of each assets, liabilities, owner's equity, contra asset account, revenue, and income. All right. So here, indicate the normal balance of DR or CR. And what FS, no? Saan ba siya kasama? Is it part of statement of financial position or statement of comprehensive income? All right, sige. Let's begin, ha? All right. So here, I will put here debit and credit. All right. So I will put here debit and credit. And also here, if it is part of SFP, statement of financial position or your balance sheet or SCI, all right, statement of comprehensive income, or it is your income statement. All right, number one muna tayo. No? Number one. All right, dividend income. All right. Okay. What is the normal balance of the dividend income? All right, go back muna. No? But before that, sorry. But before that, no? Ano nga yung ating rule, no, in terms of your assets, liabilities, owner's equity? All right, sige. Punta muna tayo sa kabila, no? All right. So if you have this statement, all right. So what if you have your assets? All right, as you notice here, so I will put here as part of your assets now as your T account. All right. So you have here your T account. All right. Let's say this is your assets. All right. Assets now, particularly if it is your as a asset cash account receivable. All right. So yeah. All right. Assets, you have here debit and you have also here your credit. Diba? Ito yung ating discussion last time. All right. So ito yung ating discussion last time. Lagyan natin ng yan. All right. Di ba pag assets, no? Pag assets is, if you increase your asset, it is to be debit or credit, no? To be debited. All right. So any increase, it is part of your debit or on the left side. Any decrease naman, it is on the right side. Increase or decrease. All right. Ito yung dati, di ba? Kaya wag malito, no? So normal balance of your assets is on the debit side. Normal balance here, it is on the debit side. All right. Wag malito, ha? All right. Assets equals to liabilities plus your owner's equity. So we have here your, copy na lang to para mas mabilis. All right. So ito ay normal balance, ha? All right. Next, how about naman in terms of your liabilities? All right. Liabilities and owner's equity. If we increase our liabilities, it is always on. Ito ay baliktad, di ba? So we increase in our debit. All right. Credit, sorry. All right. Any decrease naman, it is on the debit side. All right. So yun na yung baliktad, di ba? And also we have your capital na lang, no? Para at least generic tayo. Alright, in terms of the capital or the owner's equity, same siya, 'di ba? Owner's equity, same siya sa ating tinatawag na liability. Same na same. Normal balance here is on the credit side. Alright, normal balance always on the credit side. Normal balance also of the owner's equity is on the credit side. Alright. Yan. So ito ay, di ba, plus. Alright. Yan. So ito yung ating equations. Of course, under the owner's equity, you have your, di ba, you have your revenue. Alright. Copy na lang. We will add the revenue. Alright. In terms of your revenue, same, no? Debit and credit, if you increase, it is on the credit side. If you decrease naman, on the debit side. Normal balance is on the credit side. What else? We have also here your expenses. Kaya lang sa expenses, baliktad, diba? It is to be added, right? So itong revenue is to be added. Alright? It is to be added. Alright. Ito naman ay to be deducted. Diba? Ito ay to be deducted as part of owner's equity. Okay. In terms of the expenses, alright? Expenses naman, no? Ito ay baliktad, no? Debit increase and also we have here your decrease. Take note, it is only our review, no? We discussed, di ba, already. Alright. And also we have your drawings. So deduct pa din yung drawings, same lang. So we have here your drawings. Right? So we have here your drawings. So drawings is also same as your expenses. All right. So yan yung ating discussion last time, right? So hopefully ito ay review na lang, okay? All right. So with this one, no, to familiarize this one, of course, we will answer one by one. All right, number one muna tayo. We have here our dividend income. All right. Hopefully, walang questions kanina, ha? All right. Dividend income. Okay. So, meaning dividend income. So, if you have a dividend income, all right. Indicate the normal balance. So, it is more on normal balance. Dividend income, of course, normal balance mo here ay credit, di ba? Yes. All right. How about naman in terms of identifications, if it is SFP or Statement of Comprehensive Income or Statement of Financial Position? Of course, it is part of Statement of Comprehensive Income or your income statement. Kasi nga income siya, di ba? Ano nga pagkakaiba ng Statement of Financial Position? That's your assets, liabilities, and owner's equity. While your SCI is your income and your expenses and your revenue. Okay, magmalito ha. All right. On number 2, ito bago. Okay. What do you mean of cash overdraft? All right. What do you mean of cash overdraft? Okay, halimbawa, you have savings, you have checking account, no? And the balance of the account is worth 1 million. Okay. Kaya lang, nag-issue ka, no? Nag-issue ka ng cheque worth 1.1 million. Meaning, you have no funding in your bank. Tama ba? Sa Tagalog ay tumalbog yung cheque. Alright. Because your balance is only 1 million. How come that you issued check worth 1.1? Malamang tatalbog ang cheque mo worth 100,000. Alright. On the part of company, it is a liability. Why liability? Because you have an obligation to fund that account, no? Saan? Sa inyong bangko, in your bank. So it is part of your liability. It is a liability on your part because you will pay or you will fund. No? The word here is to fund your overdraft. So meaning it is a liability. So normal balance of a liability is credit, ha? Okay. credit because it is a liability. Of course, it is part of your statement of financial position. All right. Number 3. If you have question, just message me. All right. You have here merchandise, inventory. Okay. So from the word itself, inventory. So it is part of your, all right. So it is part of your first normal balance na ay debit, and also part siya ng ating tinatawag na statement of financial position. Alright. Number 3. Di ba napakadali lang? Sorry, number 4 na tayo. Number 4 is you have your prepaid supplies. Alright, so we have here your prepaid supplies. Alright, so in terms of the prepaid supplies, part of the asset, so debit siya, and statement of financial position. All right, number 5. Ito, di ba, we discussed about adjustment already, no? So unearned rent income, it is part of your liability. So unearned rent income, liability siya. Of course, normal balance here is credit. All right, and it is part of your what? Part siya na. So of course, it is part of your, diba, statement of comprehensive income. Diba, statement of comprehensive income. Alright, bakit sir? Kasi nga, ito ay unearned income. Alright, number 6. So, liability. Number 6, yan, if drawing. So, it is part of your drawing. Alright. So, kanina, we discussed about this one. If drawing, normal balance is debit. And it is part of your statement of financial position. Napakadali, no? Number 7. All right, purchases. Ito. Purchases, sige, when we are now in the accounting for merchandising, all right? So I think next module, we will discuss this purchase or purchases. So meaning, it is part of our normal balance of purchase. It is part of the cost of goods sold. All right, normal balance here is debit. All right. It is under statement of comprehensive income, meaning bumili ka ng inventaryo. You purchase an inventory. That's why you have your purchase. Purchase is under the, it is part of your cost of goods sold. All right. Number 8. Okay, sales, of course, sales revenue, same thing. Of course, it is part of your credit and part of your statement of comprehensive income. Ito naman, yan. Kanina, we have purchase, diba? Ito naman ay purchase, returns, and allowances. So, purchase, returns, and allowances. Ano ibig sabihin nito? Tingnan mo yung number 7. Number 7 is you purchase, right? Kaya lang, may mga time kasi, yung pinapurchase natin ay binabalik natin. Tama ba? Yes. So, meaning, the purchase, allowances, and returns is part of your contra purchase. So if it is a contra purchase, if you have a debit balance here, of course, normal balance nito ay credit and part na siya ng statement of comprehensive income. We will discuss this thoroughly in our statement of when we are now in the accounting for merchandising. But now, since we have now here, you purchase inventory, and then you return, no, and you have an allowance, it is part of the contra purchase, meaning kabaligtaran. Just like your equipment, you have your contra asset, which is the accumulated depreciation. I think number 14 yan, later. All right. Number 10. Ito naman, number 10, same, no, as number 8, sales discount. All right, again, we will also discuss this one when we are now in the accounting for the merchandising. When you say about sales discount here is you are the seller, then you give discount for prompt payment para magbayad sila. No? Magbayad sila. Okay, para magbayad sila para you have discount. No? So, meaning, if the sales here has a credit balance, normal, contra sales naman ang ating tinatawag na sales discount. Kung credit ito, so it is a debit, no? Contra, just like your purchase allowances and returns, okay? It is also part of your statement of comprehensive income. Don't worry for number 7 to number 10. We will discuss this in our accounting for the merchandising. Number 11, professional fees. For example, this is a, depende kasi wala nakalagay na expense. Alright, professional fees. Alright, depende, no? Let's say professional fees because you are the you are the one who makes makes services, right? Ikaw yung gumawa, okay? So it is part of your income. Or let's say, sige, I will put na lang professional fees as part of services rendered. Alright, kaya lang silent eh. Alright, sige, I will assume na lang that it is an income. So it is a debit, credit. Alright, pwede rin kasi itong expense, right? But for sure, it is part of the statement of comprehensive income. Sige, I have two answers na lang. Credit here if a revenue. Kasi wala nakalagay if the company, no? And also, you can have a debit, no? Meaning expense, di ba? You pay professional fees, no? To your lawyer, to your accountant. Alright. So, dalawa siya, ha? This is part, para wag mo nito, it is an income, okay? Alright, your revenue. Sa kabila naman, sa baba naman, is part of your expense. Wala lang. Kasi malito kayo. So, ba't ganun? Ba't parehas? Alright, hindi. Yung isa is part of the expense. Silent kasi yung problem. Alright, yan. Okay? Number 12, loss on sale of equipment. Alright. In terms of the loss on sale of equipment here, it is basically what? Kabaliktaran ng gain. Loss meaning nagbenta ka ng equipment kaya lang may loss ka. If you have loss, of course, just like expense, so you have a debit balance here and part of the statement of comprehensive income. Loss, no? It is just like an expense account. All right, number 13. So, number 13 is your equipment. Napakadali, no? Equipment is part of the property, plant and equipment. Normal balance here is debit and part siya ng statement of financial position. Number 14. Yan, accumulated depreciation equipment. Of course, same as your sales discount, purchase discount. No? Ito naman ay contra asset. If the equipment has a debit balance, naman ay has a credit balance and part pa siya ng statement of financial position. Alright. Number 15. If capital. Okay. You have if capital. Alright. So owner's equity siya. Alright. So if capital. So you have normal balance credit. Ito naman statement of financial position. Number 16. Ito. Ito naman ay cost of sales. In number 8, you have your sales. So ito naman ay cost of sales, meaning cost of goods sold. Alright. Sa Tagalog, yan yung cost ng inyong sales. Okay. Capital, no? Capital. Yes, pwede capital, no? Di ba sa negosyo, ito yung capital ko eh. Yan. Not like number 15, ha? Owner's equity naman yan. Okay? So cost of sales, take note. Don't worry, it is also part of the accounting for merchandising. Ito naman ay cost of sales, always you have a debit balance and part siya ng statement of comprehensive income. Alright. Don't worry again, number 8, 9, 10, 11, 8, 9, 10, 7, 8, 9, 7, 8, 9, 10, and number 16 is part of the accounting for the merchandise. Number 17, you have here your accounts receivable. Alright. Of course, debit balance here, and you have your statement of financial position. All right, number 18. Ito naman. Ito naman ay allowance. Again, it will be discussed in another module, no? Allowance for doubtful accounts. So, ano ibig sabihin nun? All right, just like your accumulated depreciation, ito naman ay contra asset of your account receivable. Okay? So meaning sa Tagalog, you will estimate kung sino ang hindi nagbabayad ng utang. Yan yung allowance for doubtful accounts. Alright. So, the account receivable has a debit balance. Naman ay has a credit balance and part pa siya ng statement of financial position. Alright. Number 19. Expense naman to. It is your doubtful account expense. Alright. Doubtful account expense. Alright. So, in terms of the doubtful account expense, just like your depreciation expense, no? Ito yung entry natin. So the entry here in terms of the account receivable is debit, doubtful account expense, and credit allowance for doubtful accounts. How about in your equipment? If you have depreciation, diba? You debit, depreciation expense, and credit accumulated depreciation. Same lang yan, ha? Alright, ito naman ay, of course, expense siya, debit, and part siya ng statement of comprehensive income. Okay, last na ata. Ayan. Creditable withholding tax on professional fees. Ito. So, meaning may tax ka. Expense siya. Okay. So, number 20. Ito naman, taxation. Okay. Creditable. So, ito ay payable sa saan? Sa BIR. Alright. Creditable tax on professional fees. So, meaning, payable siya kasi magbabayad ka sa BIR. Alright, so ito ay credit payable and part yan ng statement of financial position. So hopefully, naintindihan ha. If you have question for this one, don't hesitate to message me. Okay? Anytime. Okay? Alright, next. Itong 5-7 will serve as your assignment. No? Okay, gagawin nyo lang is same as this kanina. Same na same. Alright, so 5-7 will be your assignment. Okay. So, I will upload this one. Alright, and you will answer this 5-7. Napakadali lang. Okay? Alright. Ito tayo. 5-8. Okay? So, we have here 5-8. We'll add another sheet. Tayo ma-add. Ayaw ma-add ng sheet na. Alright. 5-7 or 5-8, sorry. Alright. Instructions for the 5-8 is this one. 5-8. Alright. Indicate whether each account identified is to be debited or credited or have no effect in accounting element or not accountable events. Okay. Okay. So you will have, no? So we will have just, we will put debit. Okay. Kung ano nangyari. And then, and if ever naman credited or have no effect in the accounting elements or not part of the accountable events. All right, number 1 muna tayo. Receive bank service charge. All right, what if you receive bank service charge? By the way, example pala, paid rent expense. So, of course, we are referring here for the payment. Okay, so cash to. So, if you pay rent expense, diba? It is credit. All right, because you decrease your cash. Diba? All right, number 1, receive bank service charge. If you receive bank service charge, di ba ito ay part ng ating expense. Tama ba? Okay. Service charge ng bangko, it is an expense. If we increase our expense, it is to be debited. Tama ba? Hopefully naintindihan na. So number 1 here is debit. We are referring here to our bank service charge because you receive bank service charge as part of the expense. All right. Number 2. Okay, what if you increase your merchandise inventory? Napakadali. It is to be debited. All right. Number 3. Okay. Owner's drawing was increased. If you increase your owner's drawing, of course, it is to be debited. Okay, napakadali pala nito. So, yes, no. Kaya at least we have an exercise for this one para maintindihan natin on how to debit and how to credit the account. Number 4, withholding tax payable was paid. O, binayaran mo ang withholding tax. We are referring here to our withholding tax. What will happen to our withholding tax? It will decrease because you paid na. Okay? If you decrease the withholding tax payable, debit or credit? Of course, it is to be debited. Naintindihan ha? Retired, old employees. Oh, ano ibig sabihin nito? Retired, old employees. Okay. So, walang sinabi if we paid retirement fee. Basta sinabi lang retired old employees. No? Yes, it will have an effect in our accounting elements. Pero walang sinabi kasi if we pay. All right. So, if we retire an old employee, what will happen? Okay. 'Di ba? Meron pa ba tayong tao malamang mawawala na, no? So pwede ang expense natin. Pero but for me, no, if we retired an old employee kasi walang sinabi, general term, no? All right. Hindi kasi pwedeng have no accounting elements involved. Yes. If silent naman yung problem, hindi naman sinabi if we pay cash. If we pay cash for the retired employee, of course, we decrease our cash. All right. So for me, it is an NE, no? Alright. NE siya kasi nga silent yung problem. Alright. Meaning NE, meaning we are referring here to the retired employees only. Alright. Number 6. Accrued interest on note receivable was increased. If we increase our accrued interest, okay, ano ang accrued increase? Accrued interest as discussed in our adjustment, we increase our income. If we increase our income, it is to be credited. Alright, saan naintindihan ha? Okay, so accrued interest on note receivable was increased. Okay, number 7, cash in bank was decreased of the result of the service charge. If we decrease our cash in bank, it is to be credited because it is part of the asset. If we decrease an asset, it is to be credited. Number 8, account receivable was collected. Or what if you will? What if you collect cash? We are referring for the AR, ha? If we decrease our AR, it is to be credited. Wag mo nito, ha? We are referring here to our not cash. Okay? We are referring here for the cash or for the account receivable. Okay. Number 9. Okay. Accounts payable naman was paid. What will happen to our accounts payable if nabayaran na? Magdi-decrease. If we decrease our accounts payable, debit, di ba? Number 10. Okay. Operating expenses was paid. Okay. Binayaran mo yung operating expenses. Alright. Di ba we accrued? Okay. So, meaning, we increase our expense. Tama ba? Alright. So, debit operating expense and credit what? We credit here our cash. So, we are referring here to our operating expense, not cash, no? So, meaning we increase our depreciation expense. Alright. Operating expenses. Alright. Number 11, income was earned. If you earned an income, we increase our income. That's why it is to be credited. Okay. Naintindihan ha? Alright. Hopefully, hindi mabilis, no? Number 12, issued promissory note to pay accounts payable. So, meaning, we will increase our notes payable because we wrote a promissory note. If we increase our notes payable, di ba? It is increase, no? Increase, we credit. Number 13, use cash of business for personal use. We are referring here for cash. Use cash for personal use. We decrease our cash. Of course, it is to be credited. Same as also, no? If we are referring here for drawings, we decrease our drawings, so credit tayo. Okay? Credit. Number 14, accumulated depreciation was increased. So, it has a credit balance. If we increase credit balance, it is to be credited. Number 15, decrease allowance for bad debts. So if we decrease our allowance for bad debts, alam natin na ang bad debts has a normal balance of credit. So if we decrease that, it is to be debited. Yes. Number 16, okay? Increase employee hiring. Okay. Okay. What if we increase employee hiring? Okay. Yes, accountable event siya, pero there's no effect in the accounting element. All right. And tayo. Okay. And E. All right. Number 17. All right. Number 17, receive communications to change business. You receive communication to change business. All right. Of course, NE din siya. Diba? Wala pa. Mga memorandum agreement lang yun. Number 18, supplies expense was decreased. If you decrease the supplies expense, expense has a normal balance of debit. If you decrease that, it is to be credited. Okay? Sana naintindihan ha. Number 19. Okay. Same lang siya kanina. Okay. NE pa din. Naulit. Okay. Naulit lang. Alright. So number 19. Alright. Naulit lang. Alright. Number 20. Donated cash to calamity victims. So meaning, if we donate cash, diba, we decrease our cash. Okay, it is to be credited. Alright, CR. Alright, number 21. Owner won lottery. So what? Alright, yan ay not unaccountable events or it is for personal use. Alright, yan. And A. Alright. Wala ko pakialam if nanalo ka ng lottery. Diba? Number 22. Alright. Receive notes receivable in exchange for account receivable. So meaning you increase your note receivable. Alright. Ito ay decrease. So debit siya. Alright. Number 23. Rent collectible from tenant was increased. So rent collectible. So meaning ikaw ay nagpapaupa. Alright. So rent collectible from tenant was increased, meaning dadami yung receivables mo. So debit siya. Okay? Because we increase our not receivable or account receivable. Alright. Number 24. Laid off employees due to financial crisis. Okay? So it is part of our business, pero NE siya. Kasi wala naman sinabi kung babayaran natin. Okay. And last, SSS premium payable was set up in the books. Okay. What if you set up pa lang? Okay. So, set up pa lang, wala pa naman transaction. Alright. Set up in the book. Hindi, meron na pala. So, it is to be credited. No? So, meaning we increase our payable. That's why it is to be credited. Okay. So, hopefully, naintindihan to ha? About problem 8-8. Okay. Ay, 5-8. Alright, so we have here 5-9 and also 5-10. So maybe I will answer, same lang ba to? Sige, ito kasi madali lang to eh. Because you will classify if it is an asset, liability, and owner's equity, and expense naman ay we have normal balance here and change. Alright, change. So ano mangyayari? For example, sales discount decreased by 2,000. Normal balance of sales discount debit. So ano nangyari? Change mo ay credit. Alright, so maybe I will include one here as part of your assignment. So maybe 5-10 is your assignment. So I will answer next about 5-9. Same lang naman siya, no? Kakaiba lang nila is element sa baba ay normal balance. Same lang naman to. Alright, 5-8 and 5-9. Alright, so I will not write siguro for the purpose of time. Alright, so 5-8 ito. Alright, sa kabila naman, ay sorry. Dapat it should be number. 5-8. Ito naman ay sa baba na lang. 5-9 5-9. Alright. So number 1, dito kasi we will put if element. Yan ba ay cash or asset, sorry, liabilities or owner's equity, or ito ay debit, debit and alright, sige. Number 1. So I will not write na lang ha, kasi madali lang naman. Alright, number 1. Alright, decrease in unpaid salaries. Hindi pa nababayaran na salaries. So meaning salaries payable to. Alright, if we decrease the unpaid salaries, of course, element muna, malamang ito ay liability. Alright, because unpaid salaries, salaries payable yan. Alright, what will happen if we decrease our unpaid salaries? Diba? It is debit, correct? Alright, very good. It's debit. Number 2. Okay, number 2. Number 2 naman, decrease in account receivable. Alam natin na account receivable is an asset account. Okay, so we put here asset. All right, so we put here asset. All right. What will happen to our receivable if we decrease? Debit or credit? Diba? Credit siya. Okay, diba napakadali na ng debit and credit. Hopefully ngayon, no, maintindihan niyo na. Mas madali na niya naintindihan. All right, number 3. Okay? Increase in office supplies. So supplies is part of your asset. Tama ba? Yes. If we increase the office supplies, diba? Debit or credit? If we increase the office supplies, of course, debit ito. Why debit? Kasi nga, nag-i-increase na ang ating office supplies. Number 4. Okay? Increase in our rent income. Rent income is part of our revenue. Tama ba? Yes, it's part of our revenue. All right. So, revenue, if we increase our revenue, diba, ito ay credit. All right. So far, clear pa ha? All right. Again, you can message me if you have question. All right. Number 5, decrease in our unearned income. So number 5 is what if we decrease our rent income? Unearned na pala tayo. Unearned income, it is part of your liability. Diba? It is part of our liability. If we increase that, it is the credit. Diba? So, hopefully ngayon ha, madali na sa inyo to ha. Alright, number 6. Number 6 here is decrease in our prepaid insurance. Alam natin na ang prepaid insurance ay part of our asset. Alright, if we decrease our prepaid insurance, meaning babawas ang ating prepaid insurance, so it is to be credited. Alright. Okay. Intindihan ha. Number 7. Number 7, decrease in the owner's equity. Owner's equity. Alright. Part siya ng owner's equity. Okay. So, owner's equity. Ito nga, ano ba nakalagay sa taas? Owner's equity ba? Capital. So, we'll put here capital. So, ito ay capital. Same lang yan ha. So, it's part of our capital. If we increase or decrease pala, so ito ay debit. Diba? Alright. Hopefully, naintindihan pa ha. Number 8. Alright. Number 8 naman, increase in our net income. Net income is part of our revenue. Diba? Alright. So, increase in net income, of course, ito ay credit. Okay? Kasi part siya ng revenue. Number 9. Okay? Although, ano siya, revenue minus expenses, pero part na siya ng revenue. Same na same. Increase in accounts payable. Accounts payable is our liability. Alright. If we increase our accounts payable, debit or credit? Of course, it is to be credited. Alright. Because we increase our liability. Number 10. Okay, number 10 is increase in owner's drawing. Okay, so ito ay part ng ating capital. Walang, kasi asset liability, walang capital, di ba? So it is part of our capital. Capital. If we increase our owner's drawing, ito naman ay debit. Di ba? It's debit. Alright, number 11. Alright, number 11, decrease our notes payable. So ito ay napakadali, liability. Pero if we decrease our notes payable, debit, di ba? Sige. Napakadali, no? Alright, number 12. So hopefully, in your assignment is you can be able to answer, no? Na perfect. Increase in withholding tax payable. Napakadali naman ito. It is a liability. Pero increase to. So number 11, decrease. So ito ay credit. Okay. Number 13. Alright, 13, increase in the unused supplies. So unused pa, hindi pa nagagamit. So part of the asset yan. Alright, so unused pa. So unused, it's part of your asset. Alright, so it is part of your asset. So if we increase our asset, it is to be debited. Alright, okay. Number 14, part of calamity loss. Part siya ng ating, parang expense siya, no? So, yes, part siya ng expense. So, expense siya. Alright, so we have your expense. So, if we increase our calamity loss, it is debit. Okay. Number 15. Alright, increase in insurance recovery. Alright, so if you have an insurance recovery, alright, so if you have an insurance recovery, it is a parang part siya ng income because naka-recover ka. Alright, so this part of, sige, we will put here as part of our revenue. Okay. So, part siya ng ating revenue. So, meaning if you increase that, it is to be credited. Okay. Hopefully, naintindihan pa ha. Alright, number 16. Increase in the budget expense. Of course, it is muna siya part siya ng ating expense. Alright. And it is part of your increase. Of course, debit tayo. Okay? Debit. Okay? Number 17. Okay? So, number 17 is increase in the allowance for bad debts. Diba? Bad debts is a contra asset. Alright, so contra asset siya. So it is part, asset pa rin. No? Pero contra asset lang siya. Kaya lang contra asset, 17 is increase. So we credit it. No? So because you increase, you credit. Alright, number 18. Okay? Increase in the depreciation expense. Of course, it is part of our expense. If we increase that, it is to be debited. Dali. Alright, napakadali. Now, fully master nyo na to ha. After this one. 19, increase in the amount of depreciation. So, part pa siya ng asset as contra asset. If we increase that, it is to be credited. Same as number 17. Yeah. Okay? Alright, last na pala to. Increase in our overdraft. So, we increase our liability, di ba? As discussed a while ago. So, it is part of our, okay, na lang to. Ito lang. Increase kasi liability and we have here our cash. All right, so hopefully you can be able to answer this parang master nyo. All right, and I will give you this as your assignment 5-10, same lang kanina, same na same. All right, so your assignment would be 5-10 and also 5-8. Okay, so hopefully and 5-8 ba? Sorry, 5-7 pala. Kasi we answer 5-8. All right. So if none, again, hopefully you learned from these exercises and problems para to be able for you to familiarize about debit and credit. Okay. So if none, thank you very much and see you all again now in our class. All right. Sige. Bye-bye.